Now,
We're live.
all right, we're live. All right, what's up, guys? So I got a special guest here tonight. We're gonna talk about everything from Kavanaugh to Trump to illegal immigration, everything that's going on in the U.S. and how we're trying to save our country from socialism and just everything else. So, conservative Mexican, go ahead and introduce yourself. Although most of these people probably know you because they subscribe to great channels, and yours is one of them.
What's going on, everybody? This is YouTuber Conservative Mexican. Thank you for tuning in to Mike's channel and to our live stream. Don't forget to like the video, leave some comments, and keep this live stream engaging. Me and Mike connected a while back. He actually told me that he wanted to make videos, and that I remember you saying that you were kind of hesitant to. And then after talking to you on the phone one time, I was like, "Dude, why aren't you making videos? Like, you're on par with everybody else." Like, I always find it fantastic when I talk to people and I'm like, you do realize we're probably just as smart as somebody running for office or a politician, somebody who's spewing something on the media. And it's just, I think it's really our duty as just average citizens to speak our mind when we see something. And because there's a lot of people, the more and more I talk about politics, that we're more middle grounded than the left makes us believe. We're not as divided. And by and large, there's so much we don't know that just is just thrown at our way. And there's so much influence that the media has that, little by little, we're chipping away at that. So I'm glad that we're having these conversations because they're very important. A lot of big issues that are happening and people being demonized for next to nothing. And it's like an everyday occurrence.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad to finally get you on my channel because yeah, like you said at the beginning, you were actually the one that pushed me over the top. Like, just make a video, do it right now. Don't even think about it. Because I have been planning it for months, and I reached out to you on Twitter, and finally you're like, just make a video. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it tonight. So I have like myself be accountable to it. And I finally just said, all right, let's do it. And then the rest was kind of history. Like, I just didn't look back from there. So it's it's great to finally have you on the channel now. What, 4 or 5 months later? Now my channel has grown a lot and everything's good. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So everybody that's watching, please like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it on Facebook and all the social media platforms so we can get more people watching. Because as you know, YouTube is actually working overtime as we move close to the midterms to suppress channels like mine. So with the last 2 videos that I made, they have suppressed my viewership significantly. And when I say significantly, I went from like getting 40 to 50 subs per day and usually like 100, if not 200 views on my videos. I gained 5 subscribers yesterday and probably like 20 views combined between my videos. So that tells me I'm kind of being shadow banned. Same thing with Facebook. My videos aren't getting the reach that they normally do, and my regular posts aren't getting reach. So the only way to circumvent that is by you guys just sharing and blasting it out, because people aren't necessarily going to find it through the organic ways of just searching and having it pop up as the suggested videos. So, yeah, man.
Because at one point, when I was really getting traction, I was getting close to 600 to 700 subscribers a month. Now I'm at like 300. And I'll be honest, it got really discouraging because I took a significant drop in my viewership, a significant drop in how much I was making per month. And it's hard sometimes when you're spending a lot of time making videos and all of a sudden you're getting like half the views. But what I started doing is doing thumbnails. I want to get to doing more video editing. And hold on, dude. Juanito, give Daddy a second, okay? Daddy's making a video, okay? Close the door. Okay, give me 1 second. And that's just the way that I see it. Is if it's their way of filtering people out, and you just gotta keep rebranding yourself. And I started buying shirts, doing more. The main thing actually that I'm really liking is going out in public and talking to people, because people seem to really like that. So you just got to basically just get bigger and bigger. That's the only way, because they're just gonna try and suppress you over and over. I mean, look what they did to Alex Jones. Alex Jones is pretty much gone now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Alex Jones was the first domino to fall in this tyrannical censorship that they're on, because they figure if they can take him down, of course they can take down a little channel that nobody knows about. There's not going to be as much pushback they have to deal with. because Alex Jones is a huge, huge platform. It's not just Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. He had, you know, his own website. He had the iTunes. He's on Spotify. And they found a way to just collectively silence that man. And they took away his First Amendment. Pretty much all he has left is the Alex Jones website and his app. But they took away everything else. That's just crazy to me.
And that's why I tell people just to make videos, because if let's say there's an Alex Jones and he's getting 10 million views a day, I would rather have 10 people with 1 million views a day. That way, if they get a guy like Alex Jones, there's still 9 other people that are all connected, that are putting out information, so that the left can't just do that to that, because that's their intention. They're not dumb. They know what Trump did during the 2016 election, and they're trying to stop that right now with Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, because they realized that's a good chunk as to why Trump won, was because before, let's say, CNN put up a clip, Trump was instantly able to go on social media and say, look what they did. They took 5 seconds of a 20-second clip, and they tried to get you to think about something based upon that. And then social media, you were able to instantly go, boom, share this video, fake news. But now they're trying to suppress that by putting out as much rhetoric. And then if we try to defend that, there's not as much of defending as there is actually attacking.
Yeah, pretty much. And you hit the nail on the head. Like, Alex Jones, I think, was pivotal for the 2016 election. I didn't realize that until after the fact, because there's so many people that were forced, like pretty much forced away from mainstream media because they got tired of the same old narrative, just trying to divide us through race and sex and everything else. So they're getting online on YouTube and they're seeing Alex Jones, whether or not they agree with him. He brought up stuff that made people think outside of the box. And as a result of that, red pill, and then people voted for Trump. So I'm not surprised at all that they would censor him. But you know what I just thought about, and I want to get your opinion on this, because now midterms coming up, you see they're amping up their rhetoric and they're dividing. And what do you think about some of the latest statements coming out of elitists like Joe Biden, Eric Holder? You know, Joe Biden said that Trump supporters are dregs of society. And then Eric Holder said Donald Trump's trying to dial back to slavery. He wants to dial back human rights. And he said that at the human rights speech or human rights event or something like that. He went on stage and said, yeah, Donald Trump, what Make America Great Again really means is he wants to take it back to the 1800s and slavery. And people were clapping at that. I'm like, this is how you know that there's not brains in the audience, because how do you not stop and think, wait a minute, is he literally trying? Like, I get people don't like Trump. They disagree with his America First agenda. But do they really actually think Trump wants to put people in chains and start up slavery again? Like, how are people not? This is where your common sense should kick in and be like, okay, this is just a little bit hyperbolic for me. They're exaggerating and they're fear mongering too, because that's not even what Trump is trying to do.
What I say to them doing that is just, I actually like it when they do that, because recently this weekend I went to the Leadership Institute. They had a voter registration training, and they said when they, because this, none of this matters if none of us vote. At the end of the day, what matters is we go out there and we express ourselves by voting. So when Republicans, Democrats, they go after potential voters. Now, the people that are going to vote Democrat are going to vote Democrat no matter what. They're the diehard Democrats. No matter what Trump does, they're going to still sit there and think he's a racist, a sexist, an Islamophobe, everything you could say. You have the same thing on the Republican side. So what both sides try to do is get the Republicans who are Republicans but may not have recently voted and make sure that they vote. Democrats do the same thing, but they both try to go for the independent voters or first-time voters. So as somebody who has never voted for, if I'm talking to somebody, are you not being able to see that?
Yeah, I can't see the chats. I can't see them so I'm looking at it on my phone.
That happened one time when I was doing it with the not with Uber guy, but we'll have to work on that. But yeah, pretty much what they're doing is all you have to really do is go to the average person and say, hey, is it a good person says by calling Trump supporters the dregs of society? Hillary called them the deplorables. I'm a huge advocate of freedom of speech because that's the best way. That's the best weapon against the left. Is go up to an average person and say, do you do you approve of this message? Do you approve of somebody trying to get their point across by saying this? If supposedly, white supremacy is bad, racism is bad, it should be bad on the opposite side. And by us allowing the left to show themselves who they are, it's only working in our favor, because you call somebody the dregs of society, of course, now they're going to vote for Trump again. Now I'm going to ensure that I vote for Trump in 2020. It's just going to, it's just helping. That's just rhetoric.
Yeah. I guess it's just a little different for me, because I didn't vote for Trump in 2016 because I just, I didn't have the information. I wasn't like red pilled at that point. So when I would hear people talking about Trump supporters and everything, I'm like, dang, man, that's kind of crazy. Everyone's going to vote for Hillary now, because Trump, all those people are so bad. I was believing what they're saying. Like, wow, they really do want to, he's firing up a bunch of racists and everything like that. But now I'm looking at it on the other side, and I'm like, damn, are people really that gullible? Are people really believing what Joe Biden and Obama are saying? Or are they actually going to, vote the way that they're supposed to save this country? Because you see what's happening on the other side. Are people actually falling for it or not? So it's definitely different to see it on the other side. Now that I can see how crazy the left is. I'm like, damn, those people, there's no way these people can be crazy. They can't be this crazy. But in reality, I mean, I guess people really do see it, and they're like, yeah, I'm not voting that way. It just seems like at this point, our country is so divided that how can anyone truly be in the middle anymore? It just blows my mind. There's independence out there still.
No, I want you to look at it this way. We're not divided. What's happening is you're seeing a shift in power. So for a really long time, the left has controlled academia. They've controlled the media. They're starting to control social media, and now it's starting to shift more towards the middle. So we're actually getting closer together, and this is the left's reaction to losing power. That's the thing about power. Power corrupts, and once you feel like you're entitled to something, and you see it slowly chipping away, I literally, for the life of me, I thought Trump getting elected was going to be people realizing, wow, we messed up. None of us were involved in politics, and we got a guy that nobody liked. Nobody liked Hillary. Let's start getting involved in politics. Let's actually have honest discussions about abortion, healthcare, immigration. And I thought that was going to happen. It's not happening. Well, with some of us, it is. Like, these smaller channels, it's us having an actual dialogue. Okay, let's just take away the fact that I'm letting you know you're black. If we bring on another person, okay, yeah, she's a girl, but fine. She has her own thoughts as a person. We're chipping away at all that. And the left wants us to just zero in on, no. What's happening is you have a whitewashed Latino talking to a coon right now. That's what I want you to think about. That's all that's going on. We're dispelling all that. We're getting rid of all that, and they cannot stand it. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Yeah, because there's so much unity on the right. Trump has literally unified the country, and I saw that when I went to the event that he had down here when he came down to campaign for Ron DeSantis. I was just like blown away by blacks walking in with the, Blacks for Trump shirts, and they were high-fiving everyone, and there was like a standing ovation. People were proud. And I can't even tell you how many people have reached out to me either through Facebook or YouTube. They're like, I'm so happy to see more young, bright Americans speaking up and understanding what's going on. A lot of older people have reached out. People are like, yeah, I'm in my 60s, and, I've been saying this for years, but I got called a racist. And I'm glad that so many young Hispanics and blacks are starting to not only just wake up, but they're putting their voices out there, and it's working. So other people are able to see it. But, it's kind of like when my head is down and I'm just working so hard, it's hard for me to really see the results. But other people who are on the outside, they're seeing it. They're talking about how more and more walkaway videos are popping up every single day. People are just addicted to the videos, and they're sharing them. So the videos are getting shared all across social media. It's like this giant elephant in the room that they still want to deny and say, this is just a Russian ploy. I see how it's really dark in my house. The sun just set. Hang on, I'm going to go ahead and talk. I'm just going to plug in this lamp real quick.
Okay. And the reason why I want to let you know that's what's going on is I actually thought it was really depressing. I was watching MSNBC when John McCain died, and news anchor Katie Tour, when John McCain died, she was so flabbergasted at the fact that Trump's approval ratings we're still in the positive. And she was like, what's it going to take for the people to turn against Donald Trump? So what the left tried to do when John McCain died, they want everybody to hate Trump based upon their history in the past. And the fact that the media is now starting to whine that we still support Trump, they're doing anything that they can do. I think on CNN, they try to do a segment where they brought in Trump supporters and they wanted to see how they felt 2 years down the line. Well, they tried to bring in a fake person. So they actually couldn't get any people on that were willing to go on CNN and say that they regretted voting for Trump, but they actually brought on a person who voted against Trump. And once again, that's the beauty of what we're doing, is that the media is going to tell you one thing. And it's very easy. It's very easy just by going on the internet to just dispel that. What's up, Papa?
It's Mama.
Mama is here. That's right. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Good.
Man, he's gonna be a future YouTuber, but by the time he's old enough to make videos, there'll be something way cooler than this. He'll look back and be like, Dad, remember when you used to make these stupid YouTube videos? Now there's virtual reality or something, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, it's I just feel really energized by this election that's coming up. Like, I've been super engaged, especially in local politics, because I'm sure you heard about the socialist that's running down here. And I was looking at some of his policies, and he wants to raise the corporate tax rate. I think it would make it the highest corporate tax rate in the southeastern U.S. So it would raise it up to like 7.5%. And that's higher than Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. They're all like 4.5%, 5%. And right now, Florida's even less than that. So he would raise it to about 7%. 4.5%, 5% is what's average for the South. And that corporate tax rate would bankrupt our state. It would bankrupt our state. And it's all because he wants to expand healthcare. And so when these socialists, when they talk about these handouts, really, to someone that's really poor, it sounds good, right? It's like, wow, my healthcare is going to be taken care of. The minimum wage is going to go up. I'm going to get this guaranteed universal basic income, whatever the policy is. It sounds really good to them. But the socialist knows that they're taking advantage of people who aren't educated on economics. And it's not even like you have to be like an economics professor. You see economics 101, supply and demand, nothing's truly free. But then again, it's like that might coincide with why someone's poor, because they don't understand finances and economics. I mean, that's just one of the reasons why they could be poor. But the socialists, they know exactly what they're doing, because anyone that understands taxes and, you know, limited government, all this stuff, they're gonna poke holes through that. They're gonna see through that argument. But the fact that he has even made it this far in such a conservative state is a little bit worrisome. So that's why I feel really fired up. That's why I got this shirt on. I'm out representing Florida, and we have to bring it home, because if for some reason he wins, that's bad for not just the state of Florida, that's bad for the country, because that can go against Trump. Florida turns blue. So that's not good for 2020 either. So pretty much all eyes are on midterms elections for this governor's race down here. And I know you guys have stuff in California going on too.
Yeah.
So that's Florida.
Well, California it's on the brink. It's either going to go back to being red, or at least being more in the middle, or it's going to go blue. But once California is done, that's what they're going to focus on. Texas, they're going to focus on Florida, they're going to focus on New York, because that's their goal. Michael Moore just did Michael Moore said that Trump's going to win again in 2020, because he found a way to outsmart the smartest person ever in politics. He found a way to win by losing. So their goal is this: get rid of the Electoral College. Simple as that. Let's focus on 10 states. Hillary thought she was going to win. Well, now they want to fix that. Let's just get rid of the Electoral College, put all our money and resources in 10 states, and we get these 10 states, and that's it. It's done. But what I would do if I was you in Florida, and this is where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's kind of losing a little bit of her fire, because she was recently on CNN, and they said, okay, it's going to cost $40 trillion over 10 years for healthcare for everybody. How are you going to fund all that? What you proposed, it only covers a fraction of that. So if I was you, I would be going out in Florida, and I would be asking, okay, what do you think about this guy who wants socialism? I think it's cool. How much is it going to cost? How much do you think it's going to cost? And are you okay with paying 7%, 10% more? Are you okay with that? And do you know how much that's going to cost you personally? Because if you tell people the specifics, they change their mind. California, I think there was a poll that said like 70% of Californians approved of socialized healthcare. When they were told how much it cost, it dropped to 30%, more than half. So you have to be able to go into somebody's face and say, hey, can I ask you a question? Are you in favor of this? Do you know exactly how much it's going to cost? I want you to get out of it. I want you to get out of your whole feelings zone. The part of you that thinks based upon your emotions, and be a consumer, be what you are every single day. When you go to the gas pump, if you go to the gas station and it says $10 a gallon for gas, you're not going to buy that because that part of your brain is going to go, too expensive. Same thing when you go to the mall. Ooh, damn, those shoes are nice. $80, it's not going to happen. Most people don't even know how much stuff costs, and they're sold based upon the, come on. Don't you want to live in a society where healthcare is free? Our children are educated. People are taken care of, and it's called framing. They get you to get into that mindset, and then by the time you realize how much it costs, it's too late. The tax dollars have already been allocated. So that's what I would be doing. I would be going to these events and asking all the supporters how much, because not even Ocasio-Cortez, who endorsed this guy, can answer that question. They don't know.
Right. Yeah, I saw that clip too. I think it was Jake Tapper interviewing her. Yeah, she can't answer that because she doesn't have an answer. She just kind of regurgitates talking points, and she kind of, I don't know, she's really good at talking about her utopian vision of society, where she sees like, this is a first world country. You know, there's no reason why everyone shouldn't have health care and free education, and let's get rid of student loan debt. But she's taking advantage of constituents that don't know any better, essentially. One thing that they're trying to pass down here, you know, if Gilliam gets elected, is he wants to do education reform. And Florida has some of the worst schools in the nation as far as graduation rates and just learning abilities down here. It's bad. It's really bad. It's sucky. One of the things DeSantis wants to do is have term limits on school boards. And he wants to kick it back to like the county level and the city level, to where you decide who's going to be on the school board instead of having some like educational bureaucrat that sits up in Tallahassee that dictates orders. Like, they don't know the needs of the students in different counties, different cities, different areas, low income areas. He said, Floridians, what's that?
You should look into that, because if you knew how much money is in the public education system, I mean, all these people that are complaining about not having wages, things are unaffordable, these people that work for the government, for unions, for school boards, they're making six figures. They're making six figures, and the people that are voting for them are broke. And they're sold on this whole teachers educate our children. And a lot of these public schools are helping people get welfare, helping them with immigration, helping them with welfare. It's just another faction of the Democratic Party. It's the public school system. So that's California, little by little seeping into other states, and just
And Florida's a state that can fight back against that, because I just talked about how bad the school system already is. To be one thing if the school system was doing okay or thriving, but it's not. It sucks. It sucks really bad. And DeSantis wants to put the power back in the people. You know, the citizens should be able to decide, like, okay, I want to send my kid to this school over in this part of town, or I want to homeschool my kid. I can give my kid a better education at home than going to this school just because it's in my zip code. So those are very opposite ideologies competing for votes. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to be talking to people whenever I'm out and about. You know, I see a lot of people when I'm out working, and every once in a while I'll wear my Trump hat and get compliments. But that's the thing, like where I live in the most conservative county in the state of Florida, which is Pinellas County. And I think this was the most, Trump got the most votes in this county. So I don't really encounter that many people that disagree. There's some. In the area of town we just moved in, it's a little bit more liberal, so I'll encounter those people, but they're just kind of our peers. You know, millennials are they either hate Trump, or I just haven't seen a lot of millennials that are indifferent to Trump. They either hate his guts or they're on board with it. Mm-hmm. See, California would be interesting because you can go out like what you did. I saw your video where you went out with your sign and you ran into the La Raza people, and so we don't really have that down here. I haven't seen any protest, because I feel like that'd be a great place to go and do it. I would love for there to be a protest down here or some kind of demonstration that kind of rails against colonialism or whatever it is that they're trying to get their message out. If I had that down here, I would go. I would totally go do that because that's the best place to change minds. It's just by having civil discourse as opposed to kind of an echo chamber. I kind of did the opposite because, I lived in Minnesota before, and that's just kind of like a leftist think tank. Down here, it's pretty much conservative. It's Trump country. It's Florida. But I know that there's pockets of Democratic areas.
After just getting more involved, more as far as city by city, if you really wanted to, there's probably cities close by to you that are more liberal leaning, and you can find out where those. Just start talking to more local people that are involved in the government. Say, hey, which cities are liberal leaning? Find it out and ask people questions. But and be unafraid to go up and ask somebody a question where you might feel uncomfortable because you're going to ask them something that they probably don't want to answer because you have a difference of opinion. But that's what people are looking for. That's why Trump got elected, was because Trump actually spoke for the people, and that's our job to do that, because you could hear 24/7 all the bad things about Trump, and you're not hearing our side though. So, and especially in Florida, if it's a state that can flip, all you guys in Florida have to be working 24/7, because once again, it's just once it turns blue, it's going to be hard to turn it back red. So
yeah.
Just do some homework. You'll be able to find some. Trust me, because where I live in California, there's a ton of conservative cities. It's just the main ones are so populated. Like literally, like I looked at a map of California and how it voted, Trump versus Hillary. The majority, demographics-wise, of California voted for Trump. But LA, like 3 counties voted for Hillary, and that's all it took to get the state. So trust me, you can find a lot of liberals anywhere. You may have to go to like a mall or something, but trust me.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy, man. It's hard to believe that they don't outnumber us. Because, I mean, obviously, if they outnumbered us, Hillary would have won. But the majority of people in this country back the president. But it's hard to believe that when you turn on your TV, because every single thing is left-leaning. There's not a dissenting argument on TV unless you go to Fox News or, the Tim Allen show or whatever that is, that I forget the name of his show. I haven't seen anything really conservative on TV. Everything from Hollywood, athletes, celebrities, musicians, politicians, everything just seems so left-leaning. And of course, college professors, schools, it seems like, wow, we're the minority, but in fact, we're the majority. We just don't own those pillars of influence the way they do.
Look what happened with the Grammy. Look what happened with the NFL. I don't watch the NBA anymore. The free market is showing people how they feel. They can try to influence as much as they want. CNN's numbers are tanking. MSNBC's numbers aren't as good as they are. Fox's numbers are up. So they can try whatever they want. But if there's enough of us doing videos, sharing stuff, they don't have enough people to censor all of us. And that's the importance of doing all this. I swear, like, if I didn't work full time and if I didn't have these kids, I would be going out and talking to people every single day. But I have to do what I have with the time that I'm given. And by the way, I actually made another sign today because when I went to LA on Saturday, they took my sign.
Yeah, what did that sign say? I don't think I actually saw the sign.
Well, I showed you guys the sign when we did that live stream, like towards the end, and it was a picture from a Facebook group called La Raza Unida, and it was a picture of the Mayflower. So when the Europeans first came to America, and it said hashtag go back to Europe.
Oh, yeah.
I had the Nike symbol, and it said just do it. So I blew it up, and I brought it over to them, and I'm like, what does this mean? Because whenever, especially in California, when we talk about immigration, it's have compassion. They just want to live a better life. They're just like me and you. It's just a flaw of the system that they can't get here fast enough. But there's a lot of people that don't realize there is a large group of Hispanics that believe that this is still rightfully their land. So I asked them, what do you believe? Do you believe that we should work together as Americans, or do you want us to go back to Europe? And they call themselves indigenous, and they literally want everybody to go back. They can care less about if you're American, Black, Asian. They want this to go back to what it used to be, which was Native American land.
That's so weird to me because it's like, okay, well, What are you going to do with all the interracial people? Where's someone that's European and Mexican supposed to go? That's mixed, which is probably a lot of them. But I'm talking about saying like today, families that have kids that are growing up that are mixed with a bunch of different things. Where are they supposed to go? So you're saying you want to,
Nevada,
just
Washington,
franchise them?
Idaho, they don't want you in. Check out Grindle61 if you haven't seen his page yet. Grindle61.
Let me write that down.
He has a video that has about almost a million views, and literally there's a woman at a college that says this is literally a brown takeover. And actually, and I'll actually show you the sign that I made. This is the one. This is what I mean. This is their mentality. So not yours. America, all yours, Europe. And that's the La Raza narrative in California, that you can't kick us out because you guys stole our land. And that's the end game, is just to populate California. It's already gone from, I think, 12% Hispanic to 40% in the last 50 years, and there's no sign that those numbers aren't going up and up. And that's what's bringing all this socialism, this healthcare for all, is because we're becoming so overpopulated that otherwise rational people that would never take a handout are like, well, hey, I can't pay the bills anymore. I don't have any money. I'm broke. So that person sounds kind of nice, and yeah, that rich person could probably help me out a little bit more, so I'm gonna vote. And that's what's happening little by little.
Yeah, and I've been thinking critically about this recently. I think I was listening to, I want to say maybe Stefan Malinu or someone, and they were talking about how no land is truly indigenous, right? Like you could have been born in an area, but if there's, so like in America, right, there's a lot of Native Americans that were born here, but they were in different parts of the country, and they fought amongst each other for territory expansion. So if you were an Indian born in the East and you expanded to the West, yeah, you were technically born on the same continent, but you still fought to overtake someone else's land, or they beat you and you couldn't take over their land and they took over your land. So it's always someone else's land that you're taking over. So is it truly ever your land? Like, okay, we were always here. We're always going to be here. And the only reason we're not here is if someone drives them out. Well, if you had won that war, you would have, it would still be your land. So it's kind of like, how can you truly say this is your land if your ancestors probably took it from someone else? So how can you truly rewrite the whole history of the land?
That is exactly my way of thinking. And I asked them that when I went there. I was like, well, first of all, if this is indigenous land, if history is proven correctly, didn't the Indians fight amongst one another? Haven't we? Every single culture in the globe has a history of taking from one another. We've done it. Native Americans have done it. The Chinese have done it.
Africans
have done it. And their response was, well, did they commit genocide like you guys did? That's their response. You guys slaughtered them. Us, not you guys. Us Americans, even you, they'll call you Uncle Tom, a coon, you're bowing to your master. And the Democrats are more than happy to let them talk like this because they want to keep California blue because of the number of electors. But see, what you just said right now, your response to what I said was rational thinking. They want to stick to as limited amount of phrases as possible and just go, nope. I'm just going to be firm in my beliefs, and that's it. They don't want to have a debate. And that's the problem. They don't want to have a conversation. They are so sold on the fact that I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this goes back to, this is exactly why the government needs to get out of the business of educating kids, right? Because when you're educating kids, you're not giving them all of the facts so they can formulate their own opinion. You're pretty much narrating history for them. You're telling Black people, you were slaves, instead of giving them context, like during the time that you were slaves, it was common across the world and everybody was a slave. It wasn't exclusive to Black people. And then also Black people owned slaves before white people owned slaves. Black people owned white slaves. Asian owned Asian slaves. Arabs owned Black and white slaves. So they're not giving it the context that it needs for people to not only formulate their own opinion, but not personalize it the way that Black people have done it. And they've done the same thing with Hispanics. saying like, yeah, your land was stolen from you. Here's how Western imperialism went down. This is why they hate capitalism, of course, because they're saying it's white supremacy, even though it's lifted all minorities out of poverty in the country. Like no one in America is living in poverty by global standards, right? So that crushes that narrative that it is only for white men. If it's like every single person living here is living better than anywhere else in the world, right? But the way that they narrate history, they're in control of it. So it's the oppression doctrine that they use. And Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot, the oppression doctrine that keeps people keeps them in anger, right? They're mad. So as long as they're mad, the Democrats can come in and play Robin Hood. Like, yeah, I'm going to come here and I'm going to save the day for you. Here's what you need to do. You need to put me in power, elevate me to this position, and I'm going to go to war for you. I'm going to get back what you lost. We're going to right the wrong here. Here's my vision. I need you to empower me so that I can do this. But what I'm going to need is some of your money so that I can do this. In reality, you get your Maxine Waters, living in a $6 million mansion in a different part of town that she doesn't even represent. Mm-hmm. So that's why if I could wave my magic wand right now, I would say to hell with this public education system, because that's pretty much a factory for producing the next generation of angry, oppressed people. When in reality, if you just give them the history, they will let them formulate their own opinion and then let those opinions debate against each other. Let the students talk, because that's how you're going to have success. That's how you're going to achieve. That's how you're going to grow as a society, when everyone can kind of put their ideas out there and stack them up against other ideas, and the best ideas will rise to the top. But the Democrats are just going to sit back and let it happen, because the whole victimhood mentality. And yeah, did they call you Uncle Juan? And they call me meaner stuff than that, man. They call me coon, and I get some pretty nasty stuff in my comment section. And it's really funny, because it's an ad hominem attack. They're attacking me, not the argument. That's how I know my arguments stand on their own. If I don't have to defend them, that means they stand on their own. I mean, you could call me every name in the book. It doesn't wear and tear on me. It just rolls off me like water off a duck. So when people do that and say stuff like, oh, look at you doing this and doing that, and you're such a coon, I'm like, yeah, it's not even a well thought out response. It's just an attack on the person, not the argument, because the person's telling the truth. But yeah, man, that's just kind of how it is. If you don't toe the line of what you were taught to think and believe and how you should behave based on your race, you pretty much suck, and we must ostracize you.
It's happening every day. But one thing I want to add to that is this is why it's important to go out there and vote. I think there's a lot of people that and I was like this too. Like up until before the midterms came up, I would just focus on whatever was going on nationally with Trump, immigration, healthcare. But there's so much stuff going on right now in your city, in your county, that's what's going on right now with Brett Kavanaugh. There's going to be people that are going to be trying to push Republicans, don't get them in office, So it's up to us to put to the fire every single day our local officials, our congressmen, and for us ourselves to get out there and vote. Because let's say the socialist gets in because people don't vote for the other guy. Well, that's our fault. Just like how everybody's complaining that Trump got elected, people that didn't like Obama. If you didn't like Obama, you could have voted for Republican. So a lot of it is us being very inactive and looking for somebody else to take the first step in doing something. So that's why right now I'm really trying to focus on making sure that people actually go out there and vote. Because if we go and have conversations for hours and hours, for weeks and weeks, and then let's just say half of our subscribers don't even go out there and vote. Well, to me, I would feel like I didn't do anything, because you're listening to it. You feel like you have the moral high ground. You're saying the right things, but nothing actually matters unless you actually formulate that into actual actions. That's the main thing, is going out there and actually taking your beliefs, taking your morals and your ethics, and putting them out there in the real world. Everything is about action. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. And there's no more important time than right now. These past two elections, so 2016 and now 2018, these are the most important elections of our lives. I don't think we'll ever see a time more important than right now. I think it's probably still going to be important going forward, but with this, especially with this Kavanaugh thing, like Trump has a chance to shape the future of our country with the Supreme Court justice pick. And he could potentially get two more over the next, 5 years? You know, he's going to get reelected in 2020. He has a chance to reshape the Supreme Court to uphold the Constitution, which upholds the freedoms that we have. Because if the left takes over, look out, man, because if they can get some Democrat Supreme Court justice, they will overturn a whole bunch of stuff in the Constitution. Like, get ready for the Second Amendment to go out the window. I mean, that obviously be tough. That's civil war right there. But they're still going to push for it. It's not going to stop them. It's not going to stop them from trying to come for guns. I think that would be the first thing they go after, because once you take away the guns, you take away everything else. Just like you saw in Russia and everywhere else. Stalin, Mao, all the dictators, all the authoritarian regimes from the past, that is pretty much what they want now. There's no more civil democracy because Trump pretty much weeded all that out. That's all they had before, was that deep state, where it was Democrats, I think it was, you give us welfare, we'll give you warfare. The Democrats and Republicans were just pretty much on a seesaw together. Like, yeah, let's just do this and do that and do that. And then they got fat, lined their pockets, you know, while everyone else, like the middle class, started shrinking. And boom, here we got Trump. Now we have a chance to make America great again. And if the Democrats take over in November, I mean, I don't really know what this country is going to look like. Thank God we dodged the bullet with Hillary. Thank God we're not talking about trying to impeach Hillary right now. But man, this 2018 election is going to be just tremendous, dude. Tremendous. So yeah, I'm registered to vote. We are locked and loaded down here in Florida, California. I'm hoping Omar Navarro, see, that's the thing. I will help people from across the country. I follow Omar Navarro on Twitter, and I'll retweet his stuff whenever I can. And I just think it's all about everyone helping each other across the country as well as in our local areas too.
That's the main thing. The reason why I say we need to start focusing more on just not just nationwide, but on states and cities, was because, I don't know if you saw the article, Nancy Pelosi says, yeah, I think we're going to retake the House because I don't think Republicans are going to fight us. They're not going to work against us, but they're not going to fight back to what we try to do. And if you noticed, when Trump signed the omnibus bill, did he get any opposition from the Democrats? No, because there's Democrats and Republicans that are two in the same. And that's why it's crucial for, if you're a Republican and you have somebody that's a Republican in your state and they're not doing what Trump wants or what the party wants, let everybody know, hey, what they're more concerned about is making sure that they stay in office, because that's the one thing that has irritated me to this day about Republicans in California, is that they won't do anything about immigration, because they know if they start talking about pro-immigration, they won't get reelected, especially if they live in Hispanic cities, because, you know, the population will go out there, protest, rally, and I keep saying over and over again, Trump's doing what he's doing. It's up to us to finish the rest, whether it's me, Crowder, Ted Cruz, anybody. Be more active, share more stuff, and get more people engaged, because there's still millions and millions of people out there that haven't been reached yet, that really don't know what's going on. I didn't know what was going on until everybody got mad over the whole comments that Trump made about, Mexicans are rapists. And I was like, that's not what he said, because we're so focused on everything else going on that we don't really focus on what's going on right now politically and all the rhetoric and propaganda that they're spewing every single day. So,
yeah, that's true, man. Well, what do you think is going to happen with Kavanaugh? I mean, I've been following it, and it sounds like he's going to be confirmed. They're just filibustering and they're just trying to slow it down as much as possible. I don't think she said that she won't go testify unless there's another FBI investigation, but the dude's been investigated by the FBI 6 times already. He's been under oath essentially since this whole confirmation process began. So the FBI has no incentive to go investigate this again, investigate his past again, when they've already done a thorough background check on this guy. So it sounds like, and he's ready to testify whenever. He's like, I'll testify right now to clear my name of this. So clearly he's ready to move forward. They're just holding it up as much as they can. But I'm just like, confirm this man already so we can focus on something else, because this is the thing. If they drag it on even further and then we get past the midterms, that's not good either, because then he'll eventually like resign. He'll withdraw his name. It can just get bad. And Republicans, like you just said, they're so soft. They won't stand up to Democrats. This is why Trump is so great, because he punches back against Democrats, whereas Republicans, they don't really do much. So, you know, DeSantis is a pro-Trumper, which is why a lot of people in Florida are backing him. And I don't know if pro-Trump candidates are winning nationwide in their Senate races, but if they're not, that's not a good look either, because if they're just looking to get in and get power and just chill, not rock the boat, that's still not going to be good for Trump. So even with these people getting elected in November, if they're not the guys that Trump has selected, that's not going to be good.
What I've seen so far is that Trump candidates have been doing pretty good. That's what I've seen. But as far as I think he'll get nominated still, but it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't, because what I've already heard is how could you vote this guy in? It's an attack on women. They're doing the same thing that when Trump was running for office. You know, we're going to put a big allegation out there, and any kind of defense you may have. What about women? This could be your wife. This could be your daughter. And I made a video today talking about this. Well, this could be your husband. This could be your son. This could be a brother. What if somebody that you know that is a honest to God good person goes for some kind of position and gets totally destroyed over propaganda? Like, it should work on both sides, because what I'm noticing through all these sexual allegations, it seems to only be a big deal when it's a guy. When a woman gets accused of something, or a Democrat, it's thrown to the wayside. And people are starting to. And I talked to one of my coworkers about this, and she was like, "Yeah, watches CNN every day, voted for Hillary." And she's like, "That's complete garbage." She's like, "I don't believe it one bit." You know, so I think
it's impossible. It's impossible to believe this. It's impossible to believe that they aren't using this situation. It's just a ploy. It's just a ploy so they can use it as leverage to advance their political agenda. That's really all it is. They weren't going to support Kavanaugh regardless. This was just like politically convenient for them. But then it also highlights the glaring double standard. It's not just about like, this could be your son or whatever. It's because he's a Republican. It's because he was nominated by Trump. What about Keith Ellison? What about Hillary's husband? You see now Hillary Clinton is talking about this. What about her husband? Her husband is a known rapist. And she smeared all the women that accused Clinton back in the day. All the women that accused Bill Clinton, like Paula Jones, she threatened them. She intimidated them. And now she's acting all moral and virtuous. Like, oh, we owe this woman the benefit of the doubt. We should hear her story. And of course, nobody on the left wants to call it out. They never want to call out the fact that they let Keith Ellison win his election when his allegations were out there. And there's like 911 tapes to prove that they should really have stopped it. They should have said, okay, but until we know what's going on, because it's not been resolved yet, until we know all the facts, you can't hold your seat. But they didn't do that because he's Democrat and he's a high seat in the Democrat Party. So, you know, we got to call out those double standards whenever we can.
Yeah, there's actually a story right now in California of Tony Cardenas. He's from California. He's part of the. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to find the article. I just find like it's harder to do this whenever I'm making a video. Oh, the article's gone. But
yeah, while you're looking it up, guys, please like this video. I see we got the last I saw 32 watching, 35 likes, but there were more of you guys watching before. Please like this video. So to move up, we need a good ratio of likes and viewers and all that. So please like the video.
Here we go. It's Tony Cardenas. He's the head of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Bold Political Action Committee, and he was accused of raping a 16-year-old girl in 2007. And they're already trying to say that it's a complete lie. And
I think I heard about that.
Yeah, I just saw the story today, and so him, Keith Ellison. It seems like whenever it happens on the other side, they just go, "No, it's a lie," and then everybody just gets all over it. But if it's somebody who is pro-Trump, it's just CNN, MSNBC, and personally, for me, I think it does a disservice to actual victims because me personally, right now, whenever I hear a story of sexual allegations, I just go, could be lying. When in reality, it could be a victim, but there's so many false stories that I've seen that as a guy, it's like, how do I know she's not lying? I've seen it personally, and it's happening every single day. Look what happened with Roy Moore in Alabama. I mean, the same thing happened to him. I mean, Brett could be the next Roy Moore. He's not going to get elected over something that happened years ago, and you don't even know if it's true. But people are like, well, do I really want to? Do I really want to have that, in my conscience that I voted somebody in that could have been a molester or a sexual allegation person? That's the mindset. Just kind of muddle people's thoughts and get them to think where they otherwise wouldn't.
Yeah, they're actually not thinking though, because she herself has said she doesn't remember the date, the time, the place. She just knows that it happened. So you should just trust me. But it's like, you don't know if it happened or not. Like, but you want an FBI investigation? They're going to come to you and ask you questions. Are they going to time travel and go back to 1982 and talk to people? Like, how are they supposed to investigate anything? So the fact that Brett Kavanaugh has to hold the burden of proving himself innocent when it's an allegation against him, and then of course they would use his response to say like, okay, well, look how he's treating her. But it's also like, if he believes he's innocent, why would he be nice about being accused of something so serious that could derail his career? What does that look like for his family, his kids? What does his wife think? All of that stuff. It's bad that people won't consider all of that. Like, okay, it's just an allegation. Like, it's been known that, while yes, a lot of these cases, women don't come out and speak about it at all, there are some women that have lied about it. And there's women that wait a long time before they come out. And then it just seems way too suspicious when they finally do come out with allegations. Whether they're true or not is another story. But the timing of it, I think a lot of people should consider that instead of the other way. But I don't know. I guess we'll see how it plays out.
I still think he'll get it, personally.
I do too. I really do. It just common sense. It really just boils down to common sense. So we'll find out Monday, which is good. We don't have to wait too long. But once that's done, we can move on to the next shenanigans. Yeah, man. Let me check the chat. Let's see if we have any questions. People don't. I see top chat options. You guys have any questions for Conservative Mexican or myself? I'll be going to the Young Black Leadership Summit, right?
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually waiting on an email.
Nice.
That hasn't come through yet because I applied for the room and board thing. You have to send a separate email for your flight information stuff. But yeah, I feel like I have to be in DC that weekend. If not for the Young Black Leadership Summit, the walkaway march is happening that same weekend. And it's like, I think it's a week or two right before midterms. And it's just one last effort, to push for this country to be saved. So I have to be engaged in one way or the other. But that's going to be fun to go to. La Raza equals how many estimated? Someone just said. Half a sheep said that. Come on, you guys, ask some questions. I mean, the chat's kind of delayed here, so I can't really see anyone. Right Conservative just said he hit 100 subs. Congratulations, man. Good for you, man. Yeah, he's got 100 subs now, so he can set up his, what do you call it? His, custom URL. Because when you have the custom URL, it's easier to find your channel. I know that helped me a lot. Because when you typed in Mike Nifson before, you got 30 different things that weren't me. What else? You got anything else, man?
No, that was about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up, man. Thanks for coming on the channel. I'm glad we finally got to connect on my channel for a change. Now that I have this laptop, I can interview people and get you some subs. You guys, I feel like most of you guys have to be sub to Conservative Mexican because he sent most of you guys to me. But if you're not, I'll put a link to his channel in the description. Go out, plug the rest of your social media, man. Tell the people where they can find you.
All right, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Conservative Mexican. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning into the live stream. Definitely comment, like on this video, share it. And I definitely want to do another one in the future. I think today I felt like I was a little bit rushed because I'm kind of the whole family's here, so wasn't as the atmosphere is a little bit different. And what I like to do when I do videos, I like to be able to just like do a video, kind of go on my laptop, look up articles. But I feel like when I do live streams, I feel like we could talk like all day long. And so definitely let's do another one. Keep connecting with Maurice, Truth or Talks, all the people that we talk to in that live stream. I want to create a network where we kind of just keep tabs on each other every single week, every single month. I know that's what Brandon Tatum said that he did when he went to there was another Black Leadership Summit, and he met Candace Owens and a bunch of other Black conservatives, and he says that's what they do every day. They motivate each other, and I want to start doing that with each other and just create that little network to where because it takes a lot of time doing this stuff, so it's just we all need that extra motivation to do this. And I'm definitely from all you guys' support. We can't do it without the subscribers, the viewers. That's what we do it for, is because we are those that have been just ignored for years and years, and this is how you guys engage. This is how you guys are heard, is by listening to people and commenting and sharing. Say, hey, I like what you're saying. Talk about this. If you guys if there's something you want Magnificent to talk about, just email him, share an article, because I know that helps me a lot, because between work and the family, when somebody emails me an article, check this out. Okay, cool. I don't have to look up a news source. Somebody gave it to me. So if you have something you want us to talk about, just email us. This is a community. It's not just me and Magnificent. It's all of us. We all have the same goal of just making America great and just speaking for what we believe is the truth and what's right. So I'll leave it at that.
Well said, man. Well said. Well, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll do this again soon. Hopefully, I'm going to try to do this at least once a week, but definitely we'll connect again soon, have you back on the channel, and we'll talk issues, and we'll keep this country going, man.
Awesome. All right, dude. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. We'll see you later.
Have a good night. Later.